In the Gospel of Philip, there is a chapter that refers to a basic object made by one's own hands that transmits light without affecting it. This object, simple to create from everyday materials, was believed to neutralize all spiritual attacks, a revelation so profound that, upon discovering it, the Church spent centuries trying to erase all trace of it. The result was executions and book burnings for generations. When negative forces notice you carry this object, they depart quickly. We aren't talking about blocking a few spiritual attacks or neutralizing most forms of interference. We're talking about all attacks being fully neutralized by something you can make in 10 minutes today. Use materials that you already have at home. The earliest Gnostics did not carry dozens of protective amulets or engage in complex rites. They had one thing in mind: to make a single product from readily available resources. According to their records, it worked so well that the Church not only prohibited the practice but also murdered anyone caught with this object and burned all books outlining how to make it. Because this was not a means of self-defense. It provided protection via vibrational frequency. That changed everything. Today, I will tell you what this thing is, why it removes all sorts of spiritual attacks, and exactly how to make it. But first, we must comprehend what we are protecting ourselves from. The Gnostics referred to negative powers as archons, who attack in 5 unique ways. 5 distinct strategies for controlling your energy and consciousness. Most spiritual systems have 5 distinct answers, one for each sort of attack. However, Jesus revealed something that the Church would not allow to be generally recognized. All 5 attack techniques operate below a single frequency threshold, and when you upload an object with a frequency that exceeds that threshold, all 5 mechanisms cease to function simultaneously. You do not block them. You simply become unavailable to them. To comprehend how a single object may neutralize all forms of spiritual attacks, we must first understand the hierarchy of frequencies that underpins all of reality. The monad is the fundamental source of pure and infinite consciousness, which manifests as existence itself. The monad's emission flows like light through a prism. Sophia is one of these emanations, which radiate heavenly wisdom from the source. However, Sophia's deed of creation without her consort produced an unexpected result. The demiurge, a dense creature who is unable to discern the realms of light above him, declares himself God and begins to create, mistaking his limited perception for complete reality. He makes a matter. He builds time. He creates the archons to be his helpers. Together, they make the whole system. This heavy prison is meant to trap divine awareness, while making energy forever. This means the archons are many steps away from their source. They do not run at the same frequency as the monad or Sophia. They operate at the demiurge's frequency, far below the original light. The rule is simple: what comes before governs what follows. Archons can't control the monad, as they are lesser inventions limited by their creator's frequency. Consider UV light meeting bacteria. UV light does not kill microorganisms. It does not debate. It does not negotiate or push. Bacterial cells cannot survive due to the frequency of UV light. They cannot keep their structural integrity in that frequency range. Bacteria do not dissolve because light attacks them, but rather because their operating frequency is inherently incompatible with the presence of light. Light simply exists, and it is harmful to anything that vibrates below its frequency. This is the exact relationship between the monadic and archon frequencies. When you carry a thing that transmits the frequency of the monad, which is the pure vibration of the source rooted in physical form, you are not resisting the results. You are generating a frequency that they cannot maintain. Their attacks are not blocked. They vanish before reaching you because you are surrounded by a frequency that renders their operational methods ineffective. It's like attempting to hold a solid ice cube inside an oven. The ice does not have to be fought. It simply can't exist in that environment. It melts automatically. The archons assault you in one of 5 different ways, each of which introduces a lower frequency into your energy field. They attempt to attract you into vibrational levels where they can operate, reach you, and feed on you. However, if you send a high frequency on a constant basis, not just when you recall, they will be unable to finish the connection. It's like attempting to pull someone into the water while they're sitting on dry land 50 meters above the lake. The mechanisms just don't work. The attack cannot reach them. Not because you were strong enough to resist, but because you are working on a different dimensional frequency where their tools are ineffective. That is why the Church violently destroyed old manuscripts explaining this principle. Because if Christians understood that frequency trumps strength, then a high vibration object would provide complete protection against all low vibration attacks. The entire institutional framework of spiritual warfare would crumble. You would not require exorcisms. You would not need priests to execute ceremonies. You would not require holy water, blessed relics, or church authority. You simply need to operate at the monad's frequency. That is all. Do not wait or hesitate. Claim your spiritual sovereignty. Take this opportunity now and realize how simple, accessible, and free this protection truly is. Before we unveil what this thing is, you must recognize the 5 types of attacks it will neutralize, because after 24 hours of beginning to carry this object, all 5 will end simultaneously, demonstrating that the difference is not a placebo. When old patterns suddenly stop, the first attack is mental, intrusive thoughts, anxiety spirals, and obsessive loops that seem impossible to stop. Self-sabotaging ideas that appear just before you perform something vital. Thoughts that inform you that you are not prepared, that you'll fail, that you should wait. This isn't an issue with your mentality. These are external thought patterns introduced into your mental field by entities that feed on the emotional energy caused by your fear. The second form is emotional assault. You're having a regular, emotionally stable day when you suddenly get overcome by rage, sadness, or panic. Without a clear trigger, or when talking to someone, emotions begin to escalate in ways that defy logic. Irritation quickly turns into rage. A minor irritation becomes unbearable. Rage. This is not because you have inadequate emotional regulation. It is about flooding your emotional body with low-frequency energy designed to destabilize you and cause you to react in an unpleasant, disorganized manner, making you easily controlled by those around you. The final option is energy depletion. You sleep for 8 hours and wake up exhausted. You spend 5 minutes with these folks and feel absolutely spent afterwards. You begin undertakings with excitement, but within days, you are fatigued every time you attempt to work on them. Your energy doesn't align with your physical health or current situation. This isn't chronic weariness. These are etheric connections sapping your life force. The fourth form is dream manipulation, vivid or recurring dreams of being attacked, or total dream loss, especially when under stress. Total dream suppression, in which you fall asleep but awaken with no recollection of your dreams. As if something was preventing you from accessing the astral dimension while sleeping. This is not just random brain activity. Your consciousness is being accessed during the hours when your physical defenses are weakest and your astral body is most accessible. The fifth type is interference with synchrony, which refers to possibilities that appear briefly before disappearing. Timing is always off. You just miss things, people disappear, technology fails when you need it, and coincidences seem inconvenient. It isn't bad luck, but the manipulation of timelines. The archons can perceive probability lines and intentionally disrupt those that would lead to activation, abundance, or purpose alignment. 5 different types of attacks. And if you've had 2 or 3 of these in a row, you know something is targeting you. Most courses would provide you with 5 different defense strategies, one for each type of attack. But what Jesus revealed to his inner circle was more straightforward and damaging to the archons. Operations. 1 object, 1 frequency. And because all 5 attacks operate at frequencies lower than that, they are all neutralized at the same time. When you start charging it, the object that eliminates all 5 types of archon attacks is a piece of paper with the monad's true name written in their own handwriting. Not typed, printed, or copied from anyone, but written by hand in black ink on clean paper, which acts as a permanent frequency transmitter, radiating from physical matter to spiritual dimensions. Here's what the chosen ones don't get about names in Gnostic doctrine. A name is not simply a label or a word. A name represents a frequency signature. When you say a name loudly, you cause a transient vibration that diminishes as soon as the sound stops. But when you write a name, when you anchor it in physical form, through the deliberate act of inscribing symbols on matter, you create what is known as a standing wave, a permanent transmitter that continues to emit as long as the writing exists. Certain names, when written by those who understand what they are declaring, create frequencies so high that beings operating below that range perceive them as hostile. The monad's real name is not pronounceable in human language. It exists as pure frequency, as vibration before sound, as the tone that existed before the beginning of time. However, the Gnostics uncovered something that the Church frantically sought to suppress. This name can be expressed by a symbol, a geometric design that, when drawn with conscious intent, anchors the frequency of the monad in matter. The sign is attractive and simple, a circle representing limitless consciousness, including the term monad written in its original language. Whatever language your mind uses on a daily basis. Not ancient Greek, Aramaic, or Sanskrit. Your language. Because this is not about mysticism or historical reenactment. It's about you in your current incarnation, expressing yourself in your current language of consciousness. I recognize myself. I am not separated from the source. I am the monad, expressing itself in this brief human form. This sentence, when handwritten, imbues the paper with the author's awakened consciousness. The finished object functions as a transmitter, emitting continually. This being acts at the monad's frequency. This being understands what it is. This creature cannot be fooled, manipulated, or replicated. That is why it must be written in your own hand. Specifically, printed symbols do not carry essential force. They are mechanical reproductions, or lifeless data conveyed by machinery. However, when you write with conscious intention, you move bioelectric energy from your body to the page. Your nervous system detects electromagnetic field pulses. You're awake. Consciousness travels through the physical act of writing, imprinting directly on the object you're producing. That is why scribes would always copy ancient writings while in a meditative condition. Never mass-produced. The act of copying activated the scribe's awareness, which entered the text through their hands. Writing this name tonight is part of the activation ritual. You are not copying information. You're building a frequency anchor. Each stroke of the pen brings your recognition of your divine nature into physical shape, and when completed, this paper comes to life. Not symbolically but literally. It generates an electromagnetic field that sensitive equipment can detect, but which the archons experience as an excruciating glare. You appear to be carrying a mirror, which obscures their perception. They no longer see you clearly. They are unable to accurately affect you. Most crucially, they cannot get close enough to execute any of the 5 attack types because the frequency exhausts them before they reach the target. The Church comprehended this technique completely. That is why they did not just suppress the teaching. They expressly criminalized the practice of writing divine names. They were aware that spoken prayers could be controlled, guided by priests, and mediated through institutional authority. Tonight, you will build this object in 10 minutes using 3 simple materials: clean, unwritten paper, a pen with permanent black ink, and continuous focus. This is the entire process. Sit with the paper in front of you and take 3 deep breaths to center your attention. This operates on the basis of intention rather than mechanics. Focused presence is required rather than scattered energy. Draw a circle in the center of the page. While drawing, keep in mind that this reflects the monad's unlimited consciousness within this circle. In your own language, write the term monad in clear, solid characters. Whatever language your brain uses during the day, remember that with each letter, you are announcing your own nature rather than something external. I am the monad incarnate in a transient form. Once completed, hold the paper on your chest or over your heart for 30 seconds and declare silently or aloud, "This name identifies me. I carry the monad's frequency in physical form." Next, fold the paper 3 times to secure your identity, sovereignty, and frequency. Place the folded paper in your pocket, handbag, or wallet so it's always accessible. Never exhibit it to others or use it as a spectacle. And if you lose it, just recreate it. The power is in the act of writing with recognition, not in the precise piece of paper. Stuff is what happens in the days after you begin uploading. Within 24 hours, you will feel a mental clarity you have not felt in years. Because the source of your worry and intrusive thoughts can no longer reach you, the persistent background noise will significantly decrease. Within 3 days, the people who used to drain your energy will suddenly appear less interested in interacting with you, and conversations that used to spiral into confrontation will end before they even begin. The archons who use these humans as gateways can detect your frequency and direct you away because you have become energetically more expensive to approach. Within a week, your sleep will improve, with dreams being more lucid and coherent. If you have been experiencing dream suppression, you will suddenly begin to remember vivid dreams after the astral attacks stop, and synchronicities will return within 2 weeks. Opportunities that correspond with your path will begin to arise. Time will work in your favor, and the individuals you need to meet will come at the perfect time. Because the interference that obstructed beneficial probability lines has been eliminated. A sheet of paper and 10 minutes can completely affect your daily experience. Starting immediately. Because you are not acquiring new talents. You're removing whatever was inhibiting your natural state of alignment with the monad from functioning properly. Jesus displayed a device capable of destroying all 5 archon attacks. A sheet of paper with the monad's name written in his own handwriting. Not because the paper is magical, but because writing with intention anchors the frequency in matter, and the monad's frequency is so high that the archons are unable to function in its presence. They do not need to be battled. They dissolve automatically when transmitted at the appropriate level. The monad is beyond the reach of the archons. You are the monad. You've always been. You now carry the proof, and they cannot reach you tonight. Create the object. Draw a circle with the right monad within. Fold 3 times. Charge it from now on, and you will notice the difference between living under constant attack and living at a frequency that prevents attack.